All right. Well, you've made it to Just Join In interview series. I changed it to interview series because we've been doing this since October of 2024. And if you know my platform, it's for pre-retiring and retired people, but there's nobody retiring in my department here. We're all active, we're all doing our personal things. We brought our value into a monetary challenge for each and every one of us. We're all trying to do what we love for a living. And so here we give you resources for retiring, for learning how to pre-retire by going to socialsecurity.gov, for looking at the options that you have to get out of debt with financial planners that I've interviewed, and they provide assessments, free assessments. I've also interviewed people that work with Medicare Advantage so that they can help you with the decision of insurance that you need when you retire. Things like that I try to bring to you so that you can be aware, because the people that I'm working with that are retiring now that waited, oh my God, what a problem. Hours and hours on the phone with Social Security, forms here, forms there, and if you're not technical. So that's what I try to do. I try to step in and help you with that challenge. And then we all learned how to do what we love to do previously, and we learned things. I learned how to write books and publish on Amazon. Sorry, my head is just spinning with so much things that I did. So that's what my platform is about. It's about, enjoying. It's for everybody. It's take here, take there. A lot of freebies that you can take advantage of, and entertainment. So today I am so proud. I am so happy to have Dr. Michelle Almeida. And Dr. Michelle has a lot of titles. She's a clinical psychologist, also known as Clínica Felicita Ramos. You're going to have to tell me about that one. She's a bestseller author. She's the owner and founder of Voice of Global Movement Community Circle. And she's an advocate for a lot of things, but this one that she's talking about today is for suicide prevention educational campaign. So welcome to Just Join In, Dr. Michelle Almeida, and feel free to come on and introduce yourself your way and tell us all about your mission.
Thank you, Carmen. It's a pleasure to be here in this community. And yes, well, I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm from Puerto Rico, and
Yay!
yes, and um, I am also a mom of two grown men. I'm a grandma to two beautiful grandkids. I'm a wife. I am a caregiver of an elderly mother. So I have many hats. And yes,
Yeah.
and I also am a person, a regular person like everybody else who goes through challenges in life. And right now I'm working full time with a mental health clinic, and I am the director. I oversee all the departments of the clinic, and I make sure that we comply with everything that we need to comply with in order to give the best service to all our patients. And we serve adults. We have over 3,000 patients,
Oh my goodness.
and right now we are developing also a mental health clinic in Miami, Florida.
That's amazing. With those numbers, it just shows you how big of a problem it's been, that mental health. And I'm 2,999 of that person, included in that number of 3,000. It's amazing.
The thing is, Carmen, that everybody goes through something, right? It could be in a small scale, in a larger scale, but we're human beings, right? We go through losses, we go through changes of stages in life, right? Some mothers, we go through the stage of being an empty nester. our kids grow up and they leave the house, and then some mothers feel that they have lost their identity as a mother, as a full-time mom, right? Or
Yeah.
somebody might be going through a divorce. Somebody might be
Okay.
through difficulties.
I'm like doing the checklist,
So
like,
there
yes.
there are different challenges in life, right? And different situations. So I believe that everyone at some point of their lives need help. And it's important because we need to work with this stigma of people not wanting to talk about mental health or mental illnesses, right? So we usually use the word like depression like it's a common thing, like, oh, I'm so depressed, or oh, you're so depressed, right? Or maybe, oh, he's so bipolar, oh,
Yeah.
I feel bipolar today, all these terms that actually they are clinical diagnosis, right?
Wow.
So the mental health field is a field that anyone can benefit from the services. And that is something that I want to um, advocate for awareness, that it's okay to ask for help and that help is always available. And even there are lines that are 24/7. If you are going through a crisis, there is a 988. It's called Lifeline. Um, and they have for free 24/7, they have providers, they have trained mental health providers that can help you if you need immediate help. So one of my passions is to talk about suicide prevention. I've been already in 2014, I took some training, even though I was already a mental health professional. I took trainings about how to help someone that is going through a crisis, a suicide crisis. And from
Wow.
there, I just kept on taking more courses and learning more and getting more trainings. And then I started collaborating with other organizations that also do campaigns, educational campaigns to create awareness. And actually, next month, September the 10th, is World Suicide Prevention Day.
I just saw that. It's like, so what is that, a new day that they just published and realized it needed to be? Let me write that down.
Well,
International
it has already every year
Suicide
for a couple of years now,
Prevention.
every year on September 10th, the World Health Organization develops a campaign for suicide prevention awareness. So they chose September the 10th as the day. So all over the world, different organizations that collaborate and that they work with suicide prevention educational campaign, they all join in creating a massive educational campaign.
Hmm.
Because,
So I'm thinking of my job. Like we do things like DE and all these campaigns at work, a law firm. If I told them this, because I haven't witnessed that being presented, is there like a webinar that I can say the job can participate in? Like, how do I get involved with bringing it to my job? So if that's a big answer, we can talk about it offline, but
oh,
that would
oh
be,
no, there are organizations that are giving courses and workshops for people that want to know more. And actually, this is what we do. What
okay.
we are creating awareness is that everybody plays a role in society
Mm-hmm.
to prevent suicide.
Okay,
You
good.
don't have to be a mental health provider. Teachers, nurses, social workers, construction workers, secretaries, attorneys, like everybody should know about suicide prevention. And everyone should learn about the warning signs, about what to do, what are the steps, the correct steps to follow to help someone that is in immediate danger.
Yeah.
And yeah, so everybody can learn about this, and everybody, I believe that is the responsibility of every citizen of the world, because I believe that I am a citizen of the world,
Okay. Yeah.
that
I like that for
everyone
you.
in the world should get involved in learning about this, because in some point of life, everybody has been impacted by a suicide tragedy. It could be someone close to you, or it could be someone that you know. But
Hmm.
the statistics show that 800,000 people lose their lives in suicide annually in the world.
Wow.
That every 40 seconds somebody loses their life because of by committing suicide. So I think that we are living a crisis, a mental health crisis that affects everyone in the world. And actually, the World Health Organization has said that the number one illness in the world is depression, followed by anxiety. And actually, statistics show that within the first 10 reasons a person goes to the urgent care, to the emergency, to an emergency room, it's because in 1 in 10, they have a panic attack and they think they're having a stroke or a heart attack.
Oh my
So
God. It's like the
what
word.
does it say
Yeah.
of people? How are people living stress with anxiety?
I tell you, I had the panic attacks and I went to the hospital emergency room, with the breathing and the whole thing. And that's where, thank God, the hospital that I went to gave me the education that here's the resources. Here's what we can do for you. This is an outpatient, resource. You do it on your own.
Yes.
You come and you do whatever hours a day and you learn. It was called cognitive behavior and it had all these initials and everything. And like when you feel you have nowhere else to go, like, hopefully you have that intellect to say, yes, I'm going to do it. And I did. And it took me 2 years to get out of it. So I had two, 3 panic attacks that, caused me to lose my jobs and things like that because I chose to leave my jobs. I didn't know what was going on. Had no
Mhm.
clue what was going on. And so I survived that. I want you people that are watching this to know that you can come out of it if you get the right help. If you step into the organizations that are there, that are trained, they teach you and you learn what triggers it. And yeah, you have panic attacks, you have the depression afterwards, you have things like that, but you're aware, you know what they are. You know how to now, help yourself and
Mhm.
raise your hands and ask for the help.
Yes.
So
And it's
thank you for
wonderful
people
that
like
you
you.
reached out. It's wonderful that you reached out for help, but there's a lot of people that suffer in silence.
Yeah.
And because of the stigma of mental health that surrounds mental health, a lot of people, they don't feel comfortable in asking for help, and they feel they're going to be judged, like if they're weak, or especially
Right.
men. Do you know that 2/3 of people that lose their lives because of suicide are men?
Wow.
Because there's like a culture that men think that they don't talk about these things. It's hard for them to ask for help,
Yeah.
and we need to learn more and educate our communities about talking, that it's okay. Because how come we can talk, like if somebody comes to you and says, oh, well, my sugar levels are way up, or my blood pressure is too high, what do we say? Well, go to a provider, go to a health
Yeah.
provider,
Go
right?
check it out. Go check it out to the
Go
doctor,
check it out.
Yeah.
So
So same
exactly.
thing.
So we need to come to a point where we normalize saying, you know what, I feel too stressed. I'm not sleeping well. I feel sad. I feel that things are changing for me. I cannot focus. Um, I feel like I have lost interest in what usually I'm interested in, because some of the warning signs are that people change their behaviors. They start to isolate, they withdraw from, from their daily activities or from people. They start consuming too much alcohol or substances. They behave reckless. They start having reckless
Anger
behavior,
issues and stuff.
or have change in their moods. And if you're going through something like that, go and tell your primary care physician, because the first person that can help you immediately is your primary care physician,
Yeah.
that
And those are
knows
questions.
how to identify that.
Now when I go and I fill out forms, like, sometimes you get over like, oh, why do they keep asking this? But it's because they're trying to add that into the care of people now is about mental health.
Yeah.
What have you stepped outside? Have you like these odd questions, and I'm like, okay, I'm just having a test, whatever. But I answer them, and then my thought also is like I work in a W-2 job, a corporate office, and I see people breaking down and they go to the manager, and they sit in the office and they, they cry and they talk and everything. But, managers aren't going through suicide training. They're not going through mental health training. So like in a school, you have a nurse, that you go to and when you get a Band-Aid, here at work, in the workplaces. I don't know if it's a trend or not, but, do they have people? Is there a title for a mental health professional to be in a job, like in a
There,
job environment, a corporate environment?
there are companies that they hire therapists or counselors to be there. A lot of big companies, they do have, or at least if somebody needs help, even if they don't have a therapist in the company, they will give you a referral to go to one.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's what we have at work. Like we have the first three calls of your crisis are free. And then you get calmed down and all that other stuff. And I've done it. I've tried it. I'm not hiding anything. I've gotten stressed at my job where I just felt like I was in a corner and I had to make those phone calls.
mhm,
And they slow you down, they ask you for your name, they ask you for your address and all this information. You want to scream like, no, I just need to talk to somebody right now.
mhm,
But you do they that's part of the calming down that they do, is like to make you think a little bit about slowing down, that you're upset and everything. And it's worked, and you continue. If you don't want to continue, at least you got your days of conversation, and you get educated by that, so next time it happens, that these are the actions you can take,
mhm.
but that's and you were gonna do you mentioned something about joining a company, or tell us about that. I don't know all the particulars or the names, but you were gonna be certified, I think, right?
Oh, I am. Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
I am a trainer for suicide prevention trainings, education. And right
Nice.
now I just opened an academy. It's called Global Movement Academy. I'm going to announce
Ah,
it. The doors
now it's
are
just making
opening
sense,
soon.
all this.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's
Wow.
going to be, it's actually continuous education. So let's say that you're a teacher, or you're a nurse, or you are a social worker, or any other profession, and you want to take educational credits or continuous educational credits towards a facilitator. It's called a facilitator of suicide prevention. So the academy is going through the process of being a credited under the state of Florida, the Florida State Education, the Department of Education, so people can study these courses and acquire credits. And also,
Okay.
if you complete certain amount of credits, you can have also a certification as a facilitator. And I am working with big organizations for this. I actually do this for other organizations, and I go to even to churches where they have church leaders that want to become facilitators in their church community to work people that are trained and they know what to do in case of a suicide crisis. So
Wow.
my goal is that all over the world, in all places, all organizations, all churches, there are at least one or two facilitators that are trained to work with a suicide crisis. So
Wow.
that is that's what I'm doing.
It's like having a defibrillator in every kitchen
Yes,
or wherever, every food store. You
yes.
just need a physical person. But how would you activate them? Would they be a full-time employee, or would they be somebody you call? Like, how
Well,
do you envision
they're
them?
professionals within their career, within their field,
Uh-huh.
but they can have a certification. It's a
Okay. It's like an
diploma.
added,
It's a diploma that will say that you have completed 36 credits in continuous education, and that you are a facilitator to work in a suicidal crisis. It's called suicide behavior crisis, right? Because there are
right,
four
right.
stages, and within the behavior is called suicide behavior. So the first stage is the ideation, which is you already have the ideas and you're thinking about it and you have the thoughts, and you're contemplating it, but you still don't have a plan. So someone that is
Wow.
thinking about it is not necessarily going to do it,
Right.
but still needs help, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Because
the
you need to
second
guide them. You need
stage,
to distract them, and so you could educate them.
and help them, because people
Right.
that are thinking about ending their lives is because they're going through something, right? It's because they need help. So that's the first stage. The second stage is the planning stage. So let's say the person that is thinking about it is in the first stage of the suicide behavior. So that person needs help, right? So the person can access through their, if they have a medical insurance, or they can ask for mental health services, or they can call 988 and ask and talk to someone for free 24/7, right? But then, and that is a low risk stage. What the low risk means, it means you're not going to call 911 right now, because the person is not telling you, I'm going to end my life right now. The person is telling you, I've been thinking about it, I'm going through something very hard, and I have thoughts of ending my life. So there are things that work and that you're supposed to do in that stage to help someone. So there's another stage, which is a higher risk, an intermediate risk, which is the planning risk. So the person is already planning it. It's already not only thinking about it, but it's already thinking when. It's
Because they're verbal, or they show it on social media, or like, how do you know
It
that's
might
that
be,
person?
well, because you have to talk to the person. Because once
Yeah.
you see the signs, we have to normalize talking about this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of myth surrounding talking
Right.
about suicide, and there's people that feel uncomfortable. They feel that they cannot talk. There's a lot of silence surrounding the
Yeah.
the topic of suicide, right? So that's why we're doing this campaign. We need to normalize talking about suicide.
Yeah.
And if you see that a person looks sad, is isolated, is behaving different, it's talking about not wanting to live anymore, or that they feel that they're a burden, or you see that there's someone already giving things, valuable things away. There are people that
Mm.
start gifting their valuable things, because that's their way of saying goodbye, right?
Wow.
So if you can recognize the warning signs, and you can, go straight to the person and say, listen, I've been seeing that you look different, you look sad, you're isolated, or and then you establish a conversation. But this is the thing, it's mostly about listening than about talking, because you open the door to let the person know that you are genuinely interested and concerned and that you are there without judging to
Yeah.
know what are they feeling, what they're going through. And that person needs to feel that you are listening. Because if you start talking and to, oh, because I know somebody, oh, I went through it, but I didn't do it, or somebody went through, the person is going to shut. You need to leave that door open so that person can talk and you can listen and you can say, tell me more. That's the only thing that you need
That's
to do.
amazing. I'm witness to that because I lived with my brother and he wouldn't ask me anything. He was just there. He was available. He gave me his second bedroom in his apartment to heal. And the time that I needed, it was endless. Like he did the job. He didn't know. No, he's not trained for this. He just naturally did that for me, and I'll forever be grateful for him. But it makes sense what you just said because that's exactly how I healed. It was somebody who was listening, who did not talk and let me be. And finally, I woke up and said, enough of this, and
So you were blessed to have a brother that was there for you and
yeah,
that it was willing to listen to you without judging,
absolutely. Yep.
right? Without giving you a cathedra, how do you say, a cathedra of what you should be
Yes. What are
doing.
you doing? You should be doing this. Get out there and go out and
Yeah,
do this.
or
If I
that is
was,
wrong. You're doing
yeah,
something wrong. You shouldn't think
yeah,
about that. Or,
yeah, yep,
oh, why are you thinking,
yeah,
oh, somebody left you, your husband
yeah,
or your boyfriend left you. Oh, don't worry about that.
yes,
The
yeah.
next one will come along,
Yeah. No,
So,
there were triggers that made it happen for me, and it was happening, and it was an out of body experience for me. So, like when people talk about it, how they experience it, I can relate. I mean, I know it. I know their feelings. Like my mom. My mom feels isolated right now, and she's depressed, and she's got all the symptoms of the panic attacks and all that other stuff, and I'm long distance. So I think that's my guilt that I'm not there with her to listen to her. So I'm going September. I'm headed out there. I got my approval to go there by the company. And so I'm headed out there to just support her. Like you said, just to listen, not
yes,
to tell her you should do this, you should do that. You should, no, I'm here to listen to you,
exactly, exactly.
because
So if people learn the warning signs, you can listen and then you can look for the help, the immediate help that the person needs, because it will all depend on the level of risk that the person is at, right? And you can call 988 and put the person on the phone if it's a low level list risk. But what if the person is telling you that that person is thinking about taking their life that day or the next day, or what do you do?
that I haven't
So you do
experienced.
not leave that person alone, not even for a second,
Wow.
and you seek for immediate professional help. Professional help. You either call 911 and you get someone to,
Restrain them or her.
well, not necessarily restrain, because not everybody needs that. The
Okay.
restraining is more for a person that is violent,
Okay.
aggressive. It's not really, cannot really make decisions because it's in a very, maybe it's going through some psychotic episode,
Yeah.
and it needs to be restrained. But that's like the drastic,
Okay.
not
Yeah.
every
Like,
not everybody goes through
yeah.
that. No, basically what you do is that you tell the person that you want to help, that you will be there accompanying the person to help, right? Sincerely. You do not offer suggestions or recommendations or treatments, or no, because
Yeah.
that is the scale of a professional provider, right? Of
Right.
a mental health provider. So you seek for immediate help for that person, and that's how you can save a life, actually,
Yeah.
right? But then there are a couple of questions that you can ask and then leave the space for that person to talk. Because if you want to really know if that person is in high risk, then there are certain questions that you have to ask. You have to ask if they know when they're gonna do it, if they know how they're going to do it,
Oof.
if they have the means, right? Because sometimes they'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and then if you ask, they don't have the means for that,
Mm,
and they don't have access to those things, and then you have a better understanding of how risky, what is the stage of that person, and if you need to get like immediate help or just help that person create awareness and feel comfortable enough to get the help that they need.
yeah, because I mean, look at, the city. I live in the city, so we hear about the shootings that are going on. They just walk up and shoot, like where was that person planning and plotting, and who's their friends and who's their family that didn't notice that, right? Like that's
Exactly.
the awareness, like, that's a mental health issue that created that problem, and he or she had the means. In the recent
Exactly.
one, it was a he, and people are dying because of their mental health, because their desire not to live here anymore,
Yes.
and
And
so
although, Carmen, I said that 800,000 people commit suicide every year in the world, right? Do you know that suicide is within the 10 causes of death in the United States, and is the second cause of violent death in youth
wow,
from ages of 14 to 29? The second. And that is, if you think about it, that is a crisis.
that's a whole school. Like,
Exactly.
like, well, look, wow.
But not only that, for every one person that committed suicide, meaning they died, right? There
Mhm.
are approximately 25 people that have tried to commit suicide, right? Have done something to
For
themselves,
every
and
one person,
for
25.
everyone,
Wow,
25. And but there has been immediate help, so they have been helped.
yeah,
So for example, taken to the hospital and having to like wash their, how do you call it, the
their
stomach,
wounds.
or
Yeah.
no, if they for example, like drink a whole
Oh,
of
detoxing and
pills.
all that stuff. Yeah,
And
yeah,
yes, there are moments that a lot of people they have received the help, immediate help, and they have been helped, and so they didn't die in the
yeah.
process of
Right,
trying to die.
right. Of trying. Wow.
But imagine if all those 25 people, for every one person, all of them die.
The numbers would
What are
be
the numbers?
outrageous. That's
The numbers
times
would be
times
outrageous.
25, right?
Exactly.
Amazing.
Exactly.
Is
And
that
that is
like
something you
God?
don't hear about those things. Like, I feel that this is such a big crisis that we need to talk more about this in all the platforms. We need to be more open about this, because
I
it's
know.
so sad to
Yeah.
know that suicide is the second cause of violent death in youth.
Wow. I'm definitely taking it back to work tomorrow. So, I'm gonna get more information. I want to know like what we can do for September 10th, to do something about that, because I
Mhm.
have someone dear to me that was 26 and committed suicide. And because of long distance relationships, we didn't have connections to see it, to witness it,
Mhm.
and sometimes, the people so close to you don't want to share that information. They're too proud to share it. Like, I'm having a problem with so and so. I need your help, because sometimes the caretaker is the one that needs the help also. Because they're
True.
handling it alone. But it's just, and I think of the homeless people that are on the streets also that are dealing with this. Like, I don't blame them, because they have a mental health issue that they need a mental health provider. But mental health care people don't get paid enough to do the job that they have to do. And so it's not a job that they seek to do, unless, that's in their heart to do, to care.
But
There's a
there's a
lot.
lot of people that are passionate about this a lot.
Yeah,
And
good.
that is why also I collaborate with it's called the International Institute of Chaplaincy. You know,
Yes,
chaplains, they study to
that's
become
the one.
chaplains. And right now I am collaborating with the president of one of the most big universities of chaplaincies, and he's the president of this university that also is all over the United States, but not only that, it's international. So they prepare chaplains, and but they prepare chaplains. It's a university, so they study
Wow.
an AA degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, even a doctor's degree. So I didn't know that. I last year
Wow.
it was something that I learned, and there's a lot of community leaders that are willing to work as volunteers with this. But not only that, like I said, let's say you're a teacher or you're a nurse or you're a social worker, and you also want to be trained in suicide prevention. You can study, become a facilitator, a certified facilitator, and that is something you're adding to your curriculum, to your curriculum vitae,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that's a pretty
Resume.
nice picture.
Exactly. And then you can go to your company, the company that you're working for, and say, listen, besides me being a social worker, I am certified and trained as
Right.
a facilitator for suicide prevention. So I think that there are people that are interested, and I know because I have already been called from different organizations saying, this is something that I really want. And in every organization, there might be someone, maybe in the human resources department, somebody
Mhm.
wants to learn also about
Yeah.
suicide
Wow.
prevention, or or co-workers, that
Right.
you can develop like a team of
Yeah.
maybe two or
Team of
three
people.
co-workers, that if
Yes.
there's any crisis within the work environment, there are people that are well prepared, trained, and certified, because we are talking about lives, right? And we're talking about also private and personal matters of a person, right? So we need to learn to be to have
Yeah. Have that
the
experience.
HIPAA law.
Certification.
We have to follow the HIPAA law,
Right.
right? Because everybody deserves privacy.
Privacy.
Correct.
So,
And it's not about being
yeah.
ashamed. It's
No.
not about that. It's about having privacy towards whatever it is that you're going through. Let's say you're going
Exactly.
through a divorce and that's why you're depressed.
Mhm.
That's something that deserves privacy.
Yeah.
So you have to learn about confidentiality.
So I need the contact, or how to get the information, like the pamphlets, all that stuff. Because I run a library also at work. It's a, I don't know what we call it. It's an exchange library. You take a book,
Yes.
bring back a book, you donate. So
Yes.
that would be the station where I would put that suicide prevention
Of course. And I can
information or
give you
pamphlets.
Of course, and I can give you the link also, because it's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is, if you go online, you will see it. And it has a lot of free educational material that you can access and download. And actually, I am going to, since I'm doing the campaign and I just
Right.
opened the academy, and through my platform, Voices of the Global Movement Community Circle, which everybody's invited to join in, I'm going to have also material there. I'm going to develop folders that I'm going to have materials for people to reach and access and download if they need to or they want to.
I'm putting in your Facebook group in here
Mhm.
now, the link. So everybody can click on it and then sign up later, or
Mhm.
I don't think you have a sign up process, do you? It's just going in
You
to
just
join,
joining in, yes.
just join
and
in.
and and this community, I opened this community, I developed this community for everyone that wants to join us. um
Yeah.
i my goal is to have a community, a safe and positive community, to support one another, to be positive, to help their people that are being movement makers, right? and they have foundations, or they have an events, or they have any type of movement that they want to offer. So you can come in and offer whatever it is that you're doing, and people in the community might want to join or collaborate or connect with you. So this is a community to uplift each other, so that we can all have a community of uplifting each other, right? And even people that maybe they don't have a movement or a foundation or an event, but maybe they want to learn about what's going
Or
on out there, and maybe they want to join somebody, and they might see something that they're interested in, or they want to start a movement but they don't know how to do it, and they'll get motivated in this community.
I think when you started this, we had what, like 5 people in there?
Yes.
And I'm looking at it now. I'm an ambassador, everybody, of this group. She made me an ambassador in this group because I was, so excited about it, and I was posting, and I just love that title. So I've been sharing it. I've been going to LinkedIn and just bringing people over that are, like you said, they have a gift that they can share,
Yes.
it's something that we can all learn from. And so I'm hoping that I'm looking at the numbers. I'm trying to see now. You have 3.8 thousand friends. I can't believe it. Wow. I can't believe it because you're such a loving, giving person. That's amazing. And Dr. Michelle Amilda is also a bestseller author, Superwoman in Charge. And I have it all like tagged up because it's like a psychiatrist, a psychologist in your pocket. you know, when you need that little that little you know, like it's a problem solver, like it doesn't replace mental health. And she states that, that we have to be careful to not use it as a replacement to having a psychologist for yourself. But it gives you so much stuff, and it's in large print. You can read through it. And I think you have 2 books, right? This is the last,
That's the English version,
the
and I
English
have the
version.
Spanish version also.
Trying
Yes.
to like put it so everybody could see it. I'll put a link to that book also in there too, so people can take a look at it. Just, tools, a lot of tools that, you've come in. I don't know where the time is. You might have a 64-day, then we only have 40, 24-hour day, but your days are big, like long. That's amazing. So, your campaign started, and that's just going to be lifetime campaign, right? That's
Yes,
something.
yes. But
And
we're
is it?
trying to,
Yeah.
because in Puerto Rico, I'm from Puerto Rico. So in Puerto Rico, right now, it started already the entire month of August. So
Oh,
we are also campaigning in the Hispanic communities, and also in September is the World Suicide Prevention Awareness Campaign. So we have the entire month of August and the entire month of September for
that's
this.
awesome.
But
That is really.
then also the World Health Organization established the 10th of October as the Mental Health Awareness Day. So we are going like August, September, October. We're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about suicide prevention, and
Like,
hopefully.
are you going to be in the parks? Are you going to be on TV? Are you going to be like,
So
how is
I
it being celebrated?
Yes, radio stations, podcasts, TV, and yes, and I'm going also to different events that they invite me here I'm in Orlando, Florida. So I get invited to different events from different organizations, and sometimes they reach out to me and they'll say, "Can you come and talk, 30 minutes about what you're doing?"
Oh,
And
okay.
then I'll go and I'll talk about it. Yes.
I'm putting it in the chat. I just put 2 links, one for the Spanish book and one for the English book. And I hit enter too quick, so I didn't get to finish it. Sorry. But that's the title of the book, and above it is the Spanish and English versions from Amazon for Superwoman in Charge. And I highly recommend it. It's just awesome. It's given me some clarity, and it's given me some support and some things to do in the checklist, like have some fun. I have had highlighted have fun, and when I turn the page, there's about 20 things on how to have fun. I've checked off one, two, three, four, five, six. So I'm on a good track. You
Wonderful.
know, I'm
Yes.
on a good track. And I
Yes.
liked this quote, keep growing. Personal growth is the evolving process of comprehending and developing one's self to reach our maximum potential. Like that just gives me goosebumps. It's like that's the kind of book it is. It gives you these little pushes, to positive thinking, self-care also. There's a chapter on self-care. I mean, it was well put together with the experience. You could tell, there's a lot of love in here. And then I like the dedication to all the superwomen out there without a cape who make this world a better place. I love that. It's
Mhm.
good. I'll be writing my own book with Jamie and Jesse soon. Get that
Wonderful.
feeling of putting your real thoughts into a real book
Yes.
is awesome.
Yes.
Ah,
It's wonderful. Like Stacy says, right? Everybody has a voice. I believe that.
yes.
Everybody has a unique message, a unique story. I see the world as a big puzzle, right? And everyone is a piece of that puzzle. But every little piece has its own shape, right? Because we have our own perspectives, our own experiences, our unique ways of doing the thing, how Stacy says it,
Yeah.
right? So I believe that when we all come together as a community, we rise as a community, we heal as a community, right? We
Yeah.
thrive as a community, we grow as a community. And nowadays, I don't know what all of you think of this, but I believe that because now of technology, like community now is the entire world. The
It
world
is.
has become a smaller place. That's why I say I feel that I'm a citizen of the world.
I
That's
like that.
and I believe that we connect nowadays. We can connect with anyone. Do you know that I have friends in China that they speak Chinese, and we are friends in Facebook and Instagram. And how do we do it? Because of tech. Because of tech. Because
Technology.
how nowadays Facebook, if you go to your settings and you tell your settings that you want everything translated into your own language, even YouTube, even Facebook, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it.
Okay.
It will, you can connect with people posting things in other languages, Portuguese, French, Chinese, I mean, any language, and your Facebook or YouTube will translate it for you in your language.
See, that was worth writing in the chat. I'm
So the
writing it
thing
down.
is that now we are global because now we can communicate with anyone in the world. So let's say that there's someone in China that has a special message, that is doing something that somebody might be interested in,
Hmm.
right? You can connect with someone in China through Facebook, through YouTube, through Instagram, WhatsApp. I mean, you have
Yeah, it's
nowadays,
unlimited. It really, it's
it's
unlimited. I love
unlimited, right?
technology for that
That's why I
reason.
believe that there's a movement going on right now, and we've been talking about it in the Stacy verse for the ones that
Mhm.
know the Stacy verse, right?
Yes.
Movement going on, not only in the Stacy verse, in everywhere you hear
Yeah.
about it.
Everybody's talking about community. Everybody's talking
Everybody's
about,
talking about community. Yes,
community
because
building.
we are
We're
not a human being. We as humans, we're not an island. We're not individual islands. We need
right.
each other,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's why I believe that we can come together if we can learn to respect everyone's beliefs, right? To respect your beliefs in religious beliefs, politics beliefs, because everybody has their own perspective about life, about what is it that they want out of life, right? So if we can learn to listen to one another, if we can learn to respect respect and value everyone's experience, we can grow together. I believe that we can come together and grow together. And now, I mean, there's no limits. There's no
Yeah.
limits. Actually, we can connect with the entire world.
I love it. You know, everything, so much that I've learned in the Stacy verse, Stacy Lauren,
Yes,
just to be free to talk without fear, just having to be able to speak your voice, and be heard.
yes,
Believe it or not, I was quieted. I was hushed a lot. As a child, you were told to just listen, sit there and listen and mind, be a quiet child. And I was always shy, and as an adult, I learned, to defend my daughters, to become an advocate for them as they were growing up and defending them with kids' parents, with schools, they weren't bad kids. They're great girls, but like as a mother, you become this voice for your kids, and you learn. And then with their marriage and with hospital bills, with hospitals, the communication just
yes,
develops. And then you still, as an adult, you get hushed at your job, you get hushed with your siblings, you get hushed, with your spouses and stuff. So, in the Stacy verse, it was like eliminated. And it was like, I was able to be myself and who I am. It didn't
yes,
matter, you were supported. And, if you got it wrong, you got it wrong. So big deal, it's like
yes.
you'll get it
And
right the
like
next
Kat
time.
just said in the chat, Kat said it's a cultural thing, and I believe so. That's why
Yeah.
I wrote that book for women. And I believe that women um,
Yeah.
are are the center, the core of society. We hold up everything together,
I know.
we
That's why we
take
need a
care of
woman president.
everyone. We take care of everyone, and we are super women,
I know.
and we don't realize how much we do,
I know.
and the voice that is inside of us that needs to be ignited
Yeah.
because we have so much to give,
Yeah,
right?
we're emotional beings.
Yes,
We like the conversation. We like being emotional. We like, expressing ourselves. Men were built differently. They just were.
yes,
There's some that express themselves and they can get out there and be, like us. But we had the babies. We had them on our hips while we did dishes and while we walked around and while we did everything. So
yes, yes,
cheers to the women, the super women.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I believe that
Oh,
women
sorry.
are incredible. I think we are definitely the gift of God to life, to the world.
There you go. We are what's the title now? We are the movers,
We
the
are
mover makers.
the mover maker,
Yeah, we are the
the mover
mover
makers.
makers.
Yes, yes, we
So
are.
that's awesome. So many different quotes.
Hmm.
Wow, that's awesome. So, again, for work purposes, for me to bring things back, I should go to the national, well, let me write it down. Um,
Yes.
the website,
And
it's a website, right?
yes, yes. And you can even
National,
I am a member of the Florida Suicide Prevention Coalition. If you go into their website, they have a lot of material also.
Florida. That was a lot.
Florida Suicide Prevention Coalition. And you can find it in English and in Spanish. You can type like Spanish educational material for
Right.
suicide awareness, prevention awareness,
There it
and you
is.
can get it in Spanish or in English.
Copy and
Hmm.
paste it. Paste here. I'm trying to
Yes,
get better at this because I don't want to just put the link. I want to put the language. So let me go back here and I'll be able to share this. National suicide. There it is. Has the, 988. It's a new number for me. I didn't know that. There's so
yes,
many,
988 is the
there's,
number that instead of 911, because 911 is for emergencies, but it's like for any type of emergency, right? Car
yeah,
accident, like, but 988 is called Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
yeah,
So if someone is going through a crisis, a mental health crisis, 988 have
that's the one.
trained professionals that are there 24/7, and they will take your call and be with you and help you and tell you what is the next step. So
General
if you
information. I
have
see it
someone
all.
that you want to give that number, like if you are somewhere where a person needs help, you can
Mhm.
also tell the person call 988, or you can call 988 and say,
Yeah.
lend me your phone for a second. I'm going to call 988 for you here.
Oh, okay.
You know, and
Yeah.
there's professional there that you can just at that moment, you don't have to wait.
Yeah.
And also they have a specific extension for veterans. 988, they have, I think, I'm not sure if it's number 2 or number 3, like there's one they
An
will say it at
extension
the
just for
beginning,
them.
just for veterans. Yes,
Nice.
yes.
Super nice. Yeah. Oh my God. A lot of knowledge, a lot of education you gave us today on this,
And not only
awareness.
and not only talk, you can chat. They have a chatting system that
Oh,
you can
okay.
text also.
Yeah. See,
Yes.
that's good. I'm like that. I like doing chat first, but
Mm-hmm.
if it's an AI bot, you can tell right away because it like says ask a question a certain way, and I'm like, okay, forget it. Like you don't want to get the person frustrated.
Yes, I
So
understand. But you always have, you always have the you can choose. You can
yeah,
either talk to someone or you can chat.
right. So good, so good. Oh my goodness. Well, let me leave it to you. Let me open up the forum. If anybody, I'm sure you would have jumped in, but please feel free to jump in. I know, Kat, you were a teacher. I don't know if you had this kind of service in your class that you were aware of, and anyone else that wants to speak, please feel free. Are you pointing at Allison or the next person? Anybody?
Well, I'll definitely register my appreciation for you, Dr. Michelle, and for the work that you do. So many people are so discouraged now. We, even within the Stacy, you've mentioned the Stacy, network of people. There's people who are working to support first responders because there's a very high suicide rate among first responders, for example. So
Yes.
so people who give of themselves, and medical professionals, probably people in the helping professions like you are, and so people who give of themselves and yet then are criticized or are sued or are um, pay cut or what, the whatever disrespect is happening because people aren't appreciating how much you've given and sacrificed. And so it's sacred work, sacrifice. And so I appreciate your dedication in this area, and I hope we can support you to be successful and help as many people as possible. Many blessings upon your work, Dr. Michelle.
Thank you so much, Alison. And let me respond to some part that you just said about people being sued. And in the workshops that I give to prepare people to become facilitators, and in the platform that I'm preparing, it's called Mobile Global Movement Academy. We talk about the laws. We talk about the HIPAA law, which is the one that is related to the confidentiality and privacy of the patient. But I also talk about the laws that will protect you as a good Samaritan.
Oh, also, I see.
Okay. And I will explain the limits of the law, right? What can you do and what you cannot do? Because that is why it's important to get educated, because people that are not mental health providers should know what are the limits. Like, if you
Yes.
take into your own hands to do things that you are not supposed to do, or you were not trained to do, or licensed to do, then you can get sued. But that is why we need to get educated. That way you know what are your limits and what you can do and what you should not do.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Very important.
Of course.
Nice. Ah, what was the name? Global Movement,
Academy.
Global Movement Academy.
Academy. Global Movement Academy. Yes. It
Is
will
that an online kind of
yes,
what it would be online?
online.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
We're working with the platform, and as soon as the doors are open, I'm going to announce it everywhere so that
Wow.
everyone that is interested in being trained to become a facilitator of suicide prevention or suicide crisis, yes, they can join us.
And you said the prerequisite to become a certified trainer, would you have to be a teacher? Would you have to be a psychologist? Would you have to be any
No,
of those
anyone
mental
can
health?
do it.
Anyone?
No, a stay-home mom.
Okay. All right.
Anyone can do it.
Beautiful.
Because the thing is that this is not a license to become a provider.
Right.
I'm gonna make that very clear in the platform also.
Okay.
It is not to become a mental health provider, it's to become a facilitator.
Got it.
Is to become someone that is well trained to manage a suicide crisis.
Well trained.
So it's a training, it's not a degree. I don't know if somebody wants me to explain a little bit more. I don't know if it's clear. It's not a degree, it's a training, but it's a training that has many levels, and it's going to be certified, and not only certified, it's going to have credits through the Department of Education. So it's going to be like continuous education, right? So if you, let's say that you're a nurse and you need to have, that almost any license, if you're a nurse, social worker, almost any license have to have their credits. Like every year they have to have a certain amount of continuous education credit to renew your license, right? So this would be a certification that can help you towards having credits, continuous education credits to renewing your license. But it doesn't mean
Perfect.
that you will be a licensed provider.
Right. I get the
Okay.
difference.
Mhm.
Yeah, like our attorneys, I work for a law firm, they get continuing legal education. And
Yes,
so part of their legal education is for them, they have a category called ethics. And so it's sort of like what you're saying, like you're a facilitator, you're not going
yes,
to be a professional. And
correct.
so, I mean, you will be professional because you trained on doing something,
Of
but you're not
course.
be professional title. You'll be a
You're
facilitator,
not a provider. You're not a
provider. That's a
licensed
key word.
provider. You
Right.
are a facilitator. So yes, so then there are limits to facilitator. So what I do at the beginning also is that I give the definition and I establish exactly what are the limits of a facilitator. But still, it's someone that is well trained to save a life.
Wow. That's amazing. There is a lot to learn, to observe, to absorb, and now we're aware. We're aware. We look at people differently, and know that 988 number and know how to communicate to that person's loved one and give them that education,
Yes,
as much as we can. So I'm
yes.
putting here certified mental health facilitator is a training, not a degree, with continuing education credit. Does that sound right?
It's called suicide prevention facilitator.
Suicide
Prevention facilitator instead of
prevention,
mental health facilitator.
prevention
Facilitator.
facilitator.
Mhm.
Suicide certified as a
Suicide
suicide
prevention
prevention facilitator.
facilitator. Yes. Not mental health facilitator. Mhm.
Right. Okay. Wow. Whew. That's a heavy responsibility, but it's necessary with those numbers that you gave us. That's amazing. So, okay. So I put the link of your Facebook group. That's where most of the information is going to be until you open up your global
I'm going to be announcing
movement
everything.
academy.
Yes, and I'm going
And
to be
so,
announcing everything in Voices of the Global Movement community
nice.
circle, and you're all invited to join. And like I
Yes.
said, I know there are communities where they don't let you post your offers, but here,
Yes.
please do. You're more than welcome. You're invited to post your offers, and someone might want to connect with you in the community.
Yeah,
So the
it's great.
only thing that I ask for is to respect one another, to be respectful of everyone's path and differences. And and I established that this is not a community to bring politics or religion.
Nice.
No,
Yeah. Keep it out of there.
Keep it out of there, please.
Let's grow together and support each
Yes,
other and be a better
yes,
world.
yes.
Woohoo!
Let's be
All
kind.
right.
Let's be kind to one another, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Michelle Almeida. I wish you all the best with your mom and your struggles right now. I know you're
Thank
going to get
you.
through it and your mom's going to get through it well. I know this whole thing is going to blow up and it's going to be beautiful. You're going to have all the people that you need to give you peace, to give you relief, and you can look back and say, I did this. I made a
Yes,
difference. And you did. You're
thank
making a
you.
difference now. I know it because I see it. And I just want you to have continued success.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carmen, for having me here. Thank you, everyone that came
Yes.
and joined in and listened to this. Thank you so much. Please join me also in Voices of the Global Movement Community Circle. And yeah, I'm here. I don't know who else needs to listen to something about suicide prevention. So if you do, you can reach out to me, and you're more than welcome to join me.